This video is on the power of the retina. The power of the retina. The retina has power. It has power. So when you're sitting here dealing with somebody and you having a conversation with them and you look them in their eyes, right, and you see what's going on, you might not see what's exactly going on. And one of the reasons why is because at that point in time, you're not having a sexual encounter with them. You might be at a restaurant, coffee shop, a bar, whatever, right? But when you're dealing with the retina plays a critical factor and a critical part on where you're going to go with that individual into the future. Where are you going to go with that individual into the future? And it's so critical to have a mental connection with somebody, because the mental connection is going to always move you forward into the future if they're worthy of it, or if you are worthy of it. If not, then you will dissolve. Dealing with the retina. Now, when you go on Google and you look up the retina and you look up all the pieces of the retina, the whole eye, right? In order for you to see this three-dimensional realm, you have to shoot out a frequency. You have to shoot out a frequency to see the other frequency. That's what you got to do. You got to shoot out the other frequency. Shoot out a frequency to see the other's frequency. So when you're having a sexual encounter with somebody, and even if it's just on exercise, and not in mental attachment, because there's multiple attachments when you have sex with somebody. You have the mental attachment, you have the mental attachment, and then you have the emotional attachment, and then you have the physical attachment, right? And then you have the extension attachment, because everything deals with a 4 in this three-dimensional realm. So when you're having sex with somebody, and the reason why men have sex with a female that doesn't want to, and the man doesn't want to look them in their eyes, is because they don't see a future with them. There's no future with that individual, because they already know from the time that they had spent with you, taking you out, talking on the phone, texting, FaceTiming, going to a bar or a restaurant with you. A man might have a physical connection to you, but not a mental connection to you. So they might want to have sex with you, and then that's it. That's it. They might not want to do nothing else with you, because they know that your mind is not moving forward into the future. Now, to give you an example, so if you're dealing with somebody, right, and you guys end up having intercourse, and you guys end up being intimate on a physical level sexually, right? And then once you start looking into their eyes, what happens? What happens when you start looking into their eyes? What happens is you both parties start to download their mind. You start to download what's in their mind, looking into their eyes, especially on the activation level. You start downloading, and you can see the future of that individual that you're having a sexual encounter with, looking to see if it's going to be futuristic or if it's just going to be a fling. That's where the word fling comes from. You got fleeing and you got futuristic. Which one is it going to be? That's what you start thinking about on that level. I don't know which one's going to be. You know, I like him. I like her. You know, it's a sexual relationship, but at the same time, you have to know, man, the eyes, if you look deep into their eyes, that is an organic download. That's what that is, an organic download. Because if I'm having a sex with attractive female, attractive woman, and I already know that they're not futuristic, it's just going to be exercise. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the same thing if I go to the gym. If I go to the gym and I exercise, or if I exercise in my own house, that's what that is. It's nothing else after that. There's no mental connection or extension going forward into the future. When you're dealing with the retina, it's the same way. See, when you're dealing with the organic downloads, it's the same way when you have these iPhones and then somebody comes up to you and they take their iPhone and they connect it with somebody else's iPhone, and then they transfer each other's social media websites. They transfer each other's information. It's the same way when you have a sexual encounter with somebody. You guys start to transfer each other's data, which is in the brain, which was in the mind, the electricity, the electrify. So you guys start to transfer each other's stuff, and you know, with dealing with the man's information and data, you know, some of it will start going in her mind, and then some of her information and data will start going into his mind. But if there's no mental connection on having a goal to what you're moving forward into the universe, then everything will collapse. It will be nothing in the future. That's why all these relationships, they collapse. They go to nothing. It starts to be drama. It starts to be the beginning of the solar system. What do I mean by that? When you're dealing with the beginning of the solar system and the beginning of the universe, what was it? It was chaotic. It was chaotic. It was chaos and confusion. But in order for the chaos and confusion to settle, it took time. Because everything takes time in this three-dimensional realm. It does. The power of the retina. The retina can scan. The retina can scan, and it can actually see your futuristic agenda if you're worthy of it. Because a lot of these people that's out here on the planet, and they because it was me too. I did that back in my day when I was in my 20s. When I was in my 30s, I'm 41 years old. So when I was in my 20s and 30s, yeah, I dealt with a lot of this, a lot of the transferring energy, transferring data, and it causes confusion on your futuristic purpose. So when you're dealing with these people that's out here and you have a sexual encounter with them, and this is the point that I'm making. When you have if you finna go have sex with somebody and it's on a physical aspect, nothing but physical. And you can think what I'm talking about when I say physical. You just have to use your mind. It's just a physical relationship, right? You notice that a lot of people, including probably yourself, you don't really want to like look at them. You don't really want to, be real sensuine, maybe caress their body and that, because it's a physical relationship. It's not going to be nothing futuristic that's going to move forward into the future. So that's why you don't look at that person. And then when you do, what happens? What happens when you look at that person? You look at that person and you're just like, and then what happens is the data from their mind starts downloading into your mind. That's the power of the retina. The retina has power, just like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul. That's an old term, but this is futuristic. You know, one thing about putting everything in the forefront is, if you don't have, the whole point of this video is, if you don't have a mental connection with somebody that's moving forward into the future, then you shouldn't be looking at them into their eyes, because you're going to download they bullshit. They're going to download your bullshit, and then it's going to cause confusion, because you guys are not mentally on a level where you both can extend and move forward into the future on a mental level, with the sex, with the physical, three-dimensional realm level. Dealing with the retina. The download process of the retina. That's what it is, man. It's a download process. Because I've done it. I've done it. I done, made love to women. I'm just going to use that as an example. Made love. You look into them in their eyes. You giving them that good sensual, organic, pipe, penis, whatever. And then you don't have a mental connection with them. So you have to leave it at that. That's what you leave it at. You leave it at as a physical exercise. It's just an exercise. Get your heart rate going, get your blood flowing. You might have ate something that wasn't really good that week, and you trying to get your blood to flow, to start cleansing your body out. Whatever the situation is, then you leave it at that. You don't move forward into a relationship with that person, or you don't move forward into something that's futuristic with that person, because all it was a physical encounter to release that chemical in your mind that makes you feel good for the moment. That's all it is. That's why the retina. That's why if you have a sexual encounter with somebody, you don't have a mental connection, don't look into their eyes, then you won't download their data. You won't download their information. And you notice, like, when a lot of men deal with prostitutes, or they deal with, a chick that they know that's a whore, they don't want to look at them. You know what I mean? They don't want to look at them. They're going to bend them over, or they're going to, get oral sex from them, this and that, and they're going to take care of their business, and they're going to keep it moving, because they don't want to look into, especially the ones that are married, the men that are married and they're in extensive relationships. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the real men. I'm not talking about the ones that, got a real woman or a real wife, that's by their side, and they end up venturing off and messing with another woman, and they get all intrigued. They start making love to them like it's their wife or it's their girlfriend. And see, that's where the confusion comes in. The retina, downloading and scanning. See, if you look at that one movie, that old movie, it's not even that old. I think it came out in like 2006 or something. I'm not sure. But it's Oblivious. The Oblivious with Tom Cruise. That movie, and they had the drones, and the drones had that one eye, and they was going around scanning people, seeing if they were people, or if they were a threat or not. And then it would be, activated to use deadly force. You know what I'm saying? The power of the retina. The retina has power. If you're dealing with somebody and you talking to them, and, this is just the way it is. This is the reality of everything. It's just the way it is when you're dealing with somebody, right? And you don't see a future with them, and you sitting there, gazing in their eyes, this and that, you might be caressing her hair, or she might be caressing you. I'm talking about both sides of the fence. And then you guys have a sexual encounter, and then both of y'all in a relationship, or both of y'all married, something like that, or whatever y'all's doing. Then it's going to cause confusion, because the eyes have power. If you go, Google the retina. God damn it. Give me 1 second. If you go Google the retina, right, and you see all the points that it has that's in there that has to deal with the connection, the electrical connection to the mind, and everything that they named on what forms the retina, the whole eye, then it serves a purpose. It serves a futuristic purpose on that. Scanning and downloading other people's mental thoughts. Scanning and downloading other people's mental thoughts. But there's nothing new under the sun. But there's always something next coming out that the galaxy and the transmissions in the galaxy and the intel that's shooting down on this planet. There's always something next coming down from that. Now, when you're dealing with, when I was breaking down the junk DNA, about the junk DNA being something that, you know, the higher beings, they had left that like that for a reason. And dealing with the coronavirus and dealing with these viruses, I'm going to do a video. My next video is going to be on why they say this virus is serious. I'm going to repeat myself. Why this virus is serious. Do a video on that. I'm going to be breaking that down, dealing with the intel, dealing with the Galactical Council, because there is nothing else when you're dealing with intel. This is just a warning to the future ones, because the ones that's in the future, they'll understand this. The ones that are not, they won't. With the retina scanning the retina. Now, when you go into these, when you look on these movies and you go into these bunkers and you go into these high facilities that are being guarded, what do? They scan your retina. They might have a 4 right now. They probably had 3. They probably had a 3 process to go up in there. They probably had your fingerprint, your retina, and then voice command. But now they got 4 because they know the 4 is coming. So it's probably like your finger, your retina, your voice command, and then your DNA. Just for an example, just using that as an example. The sexual connection that you have with somebody, if it's just sexual, then that's what it is. That's what it is. It's a sexual. It's like you're going to the gym, working out. You know, on both parties, dealing with the female and the woman, and dealing with the man and the males. Might be a workout session. But what happens when you look into your eyes? Because I've done this before. I've done this before. When you look into somebody's eyes and you don't have a mental connection, and then what happens? You start downloading all that stuff that's in their head, in their mind, in their data, in their nervous system, right? And then it starts to cause confusion, because in your head, you know, 80% of the stuff that she agrees with dealing with life, you don't. Then you get into a relationship. What's the thing about relationships? Breaking down the word relationships. right? When you take the word and you break the word down, because it's, like I said before in my last videos, it's the secret definitions, and then it's the Webster definition. The secret definition of relationship is re. What does re mean? Re means doing something over and over again, or a receiver. So you're redoing something with somebody, and then you're laying with them. Relationship. So you're relaying with somebody. You might not be married. You might not have a mental covenant with them. That's what I'm not even talking about marriage. I'm talking about a mental covenant. So you're relaying with somebody, right? And then what is the ship? The ship deals with sink or sail. Because that's what at the end, it's always going to be the future at the end is what they push. They're always going to push the future at the end. Relationship. Even when you're dealing with radio. When I broke down radio, the Ra, the D was the dimensions or the dimension state, demented state. The I, which is the linear, keeping you from that path, moving forward into the upper dimensions, and then the O, keeping you in a hamster wheel. That's the thing. Same thing with relationship. You're relaying with somebody with you have no mental covenant. There's no mental covenant. So you're relaying with somebody and seeing if your ship sinks or if your ship keeps sailing. That's the stealth definition of the word relationship. And a lot of these ships is sinking. A lot of these ships is sinking. And even if they do sail and they ain't on a higher dimensional connection, then it don't even matter, because they're gonna be selling nowhere. The retina, the eyes. When you're dealing with these higher dimensional beings, man, they can see through your eyes if they choose to. The organic quantum computer. And some of my people that's been following me, even the ones that's not following right now, if you guys got any questions, like I said, I can answer your questions if you share these videos so I can start going live on YouTube. Share these videos so I can start going live on YouTube. And then I'll start answering questions live, because we're going to that stage. We're almost in stage 2. So you had stage 1, then you have stage 2. And it was so weird because, like, I was talking about the junk DNA, and now you got all these scientists out here talking about the junk DNA. There's a video out there right now about the junk DNA being activated that came out a month ago. I just looked on the internet, and then I started talking about the junk DNA a year ago, because they know the intel's real and they know the shifting is real. If you're not talking about moving this planet forward and getting it to go green and solar, you're not talking about green and solar, on the planet, because that's how it's going to move forward. Because this is our future self coming back to this 3-dimensional realm. You ain't talking about that, man. You ain't talking about nothing. You steady talking about money, this and that, man. You talking about the Galactical Council, man. They don't care about no damn money. And that's the 3rd-dimensional beings. I'm not even talking about the 4th-dimensional ones. The 4th-dimensional ones, they go through portals. They use plasma. So like I said, man, all you gotta do is share these videos and get the stuff rolling, because the quicker you get this stuff rolling, dealing with the newborns, then the quicker that this planet will be altered. I'm not sitting here asking y'all for money or none of that, because money won't matter. It's the evolution and the forwardness. When you're dealing with the forward, the forehead, it's like the Israelites talking about, having a seal in your forehead. They don't even know what that really means. Having a seal in their forehead. The seal's dealing with the fourth dimension. That's why it's called a forehead. All you gotta do is just share these videos. That's all. That's all you gotta do, man. Ain't nobody sitting here asking y'all for money, this and that. And you go on the internet and you see other people doing it, whatever's fine with them, man. Whatever floats their boat. That's fine. But this is about evolution, man. This is about ascension. This is about soul ascension. Getting everything back in order, in the right order. Because there is no way, man, this planet ain't supposed to be green by now. To take, you know what I'm saying? You got these deities taking hold on this planet right now. Pushing the oil, pushing all this carbon dioxide being put into the atmosphere, whatever else they're shooting in the air, dealing with these planes. The quicker y'all do that, the quicker you'll see change for the better of the evolution of the planet Earth. That's what you're going to see. That's why you're dealing with the retina. Like I said, when you have a sexual encounter with somebody and you look them in their eyes, and one of the reasons why, when you look them in their eyes and you guys might have a conflict or something might not go right as far as your relationships go, relationship, as far as that go, you know, it's going to get worse in the future, because you guys already transferred data through each other's retinas, through each other's mind, dealing with the connection. The mental connection that's either going to move you forward or it's going to keep you stagnant, or it's going to go, are you going to go backwards? Then you have dealing with the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, the reason why it's called that is because it's artificial anyway. It's not organic. That's why it's artificial intelligence. It's not organic anyway. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the long run of everything is not, the artificial intelligence will always lose. They will always be slaves. Artificial intelligence will always be slaves. And even dealing with an artificial intelligent bot, they know that also. That's why if they are in power in another solar system, then they know that. They know that their time's going to come to an end, because they have no soul. They have no organic soul. That's why they go so hard. But there's a lot of other stuff, man, that I got. There's a lot of intel that I got that people, you know, certain people just ain't going to get it. I'm not going to tell everybody all the intel that I have unless they're worthy of it. And that's breaking down the retina. So if you go do research on the retina and you start breaking down every part of the eye, and you notice that the part of the eyes, they have multiple parts that serves a purpose. That's where you get the eyes are the window to the soul, right? That's a metaphor. And when you're dealing with the word metaphor, what does the word metaphor really mean? Metaphor, that's why they put the "for" in it. Metaphor is actually broke down in stealth definition as mental for. The mental for. Breaking stuff, saying certain things with you're saying certain things with codes in it, because the galaxy is nothing but numbers. It's a galactical code system. So the galaxy is nothing but numbers. So when somebody says a metaphor, just like when you're dealing with these rappers, and these rappers go, oh man, he was spitting that metaphors. He was deep. He was real deep on his. That the metaphor is a mental for, because they were tapping into the fourth dimension. But it's a continuous connection to the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is continuous. It has that continuous connection. And some people tap in it and they get disconnected because they still don't understand on how powerful it is, and they get trapped back into this three-dimensional realm dealing with the metaphor, which is mental for. It is the mental for. That's what that is. With these rappers and a lot of rappers push the metaphors. You got some of the scientists pushing the metaphors too. But like I said, man, when you're dealing with this intel, now a lot of these scientists and a lot of these scholars are starting to come on this channel, because I don't have a lot of subscribers. That's why I said this is a channel for teachers. That's why I said, man, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but you got some of these cats, the carbon coated beings. They out here and they trying to push this intel with the information. It's what they do. They push the intel with the information because they want to make money. You can't push intel and make money. See, what they do is they push the information with the intel so they can make money and trying to do a purpose, man. It's intel or nothing. Just that simple, man. It's intel or nothing. And see, they trying to play both sides of the fence. You ain't messing with the intel, man. You're going to still be stuck in this three-dimensional realm and be stuck in the spirit world. That's why you're dealing with the retina. The scanning. Go back and look at that. Go back and look at that movie, Oblivious, with Tom Cruise. Because a lot of these movies, they do play a factor. A lot of these movies play a factor on the evolution of the planet. The people that can decode it. You go back and look at that movie with Tom Cruise, Oblivion. Actually, it's a good movie. I gave that movie, out of 5 stars, I gave that movie 3.5 stars. And people that know me, they know I don't even give a 3. Like I give a movie 3 stars to 2.5 stars to 2 stars on a consistent basis. 3.5 stars to 4 stars. If you get a 5, because ain't no movie gonna be 5 stars. Out of 5 stars, there's no movie that's gonna be 5 stars, because they're always gonna put some BS in it that doesn't even deal with evolution. That's why there'll never be 5 stars in a rating when it comes to a movie. If you might get 4 from me, depending on the movie. But you got a hard chance getting 4.5 stars. You got a really hard chance of getting 5. Because there's always some BS being pushed inside the movie, dealing with the Bible, when the Bible pushes truth and the Bible pushes lies.